Hi, and welcome to the first in a series of business snippets presented by Mound Consulting. My name is TJ Plyler, President of Mound Consulting, and I'll be your host. In this first business snippet, we'll talk about the business cycle. The business cycle is relevant to every business, regardless of your characteristics, whether you're small, medium, or large, regardless of the industry you compete in, regardless of the competition you face, whether you're for-profit or non-profit, or if you have other business goals related to the community, to your employees, etc. The business cycle provides a framework for discussion of all the activities required to make a business successful year after year. So let's take a look at the components of the business cycle. The first component is strategy. Second, capital policy. Third, budget control. And fourth, talent management. If we look at strategy, defined at a high level as next year plus, we start talking about financial objectives. We look at product services and their life cycles, revenue and profit streams, distribution channels, the competition, organic versus inorganic growth, and the regulatory environment we compete in. Now, there's many other items that are relevant to a good strategy, but we found if we start with this list, the discussions will lead us to the relevant areas and we'll still end up with a very solid understanding of the strategy. 2. Capital policy. Really the capital investment guidelines. We must be assured that there's alignment with the business strategy and capital investment. What is the right mix of fixed assets versus IT versus R&D that will move the strategy forward year after year? We need a decision-making tool typically based on ROI. We must understand our cost of capital. Plowback. What's the minimum reinvestment required to maintain the business as a viable ongoing concern into the future? And finally, how are we going to fund our growth? Third, budget and controlling, and it's really resource allocation. How are we going to use the monetary and people assets of the company to achieve our objectives? We have revenue and profit, sales and marketing, manufacturing, and there's many other budgets. These are just a few. Once we have our budgets, we must control or manage to those budgets to ensure that we're accomplishing our goals. And fourth, talent management or people. We like the recruit, hire, develop, retain model because it covers the entire employee life cycle. It allows us to look at the total cost of employment. Have succession plans been identified? Are the up-and-comers being trained and developed to be the future leaders of the company? And bench strength. Do you have the right functional and technical expertise to implement the strategy? If we take the components of the business cycle, strategy, capital, budgeting, and talent, we can use the bicycle as a simple illustration to show the interdependence of each of these components. Strategy, or next year plus, is represented by the front wheel, the handlebars, or the steering mechanism of the bike. Wherever the front wheel leads, the rest of the bike will follow. Capital policy, or asset allocation, is really the frame of the bike. Do we have a mountain bike that's rough and rugged and built for off-road terrain? Or do we have a racing bike that's sleek and fast and can respond quickly to changing customer demands? Budgeting and controlling a resource allocation is the rear wheel of the bike, and it supports or holds up the strategy and the asset base. And finally, talent management or people would be the bicyclist providing the power to the bike. If the people or the bicyclist aren't aligned with the strategy and the assets and the budgets, the bike will go nowhere. In summary, the business cycle is a very powerful fact-finding tool. We use it in all of our engagements at Mound. It gives us a quick way to understand the key business processes of an organization It also helps to point out areas of opportunity as well as areas that might need further development. We then can layer on the financial statements and it becomes a strategic planning tool as well as an executive development tool. Imagine walking your executive team through the business cycle for your organization. It helps everyone understand very quickly how all of the components tie together and support each other, and how there truly has to be alignment with your business processes. So, thanks for tuning in to our first business snippet. Contact me, TJ at moundridgeconsulting.com, with comments about this business snippet, topics for the future, or to talk about our many business consulting products to help your company move into the future as a business intermediary, talent management, strategic planning, process improvement, or business simulations. Thanks again for tuning in.